The seventh edition of the Delta State Strategic Communication Workshop, Delcom 2026, has ended in Asaba, with participants charged to put the skills acquired into practice. The three-day workshop focused on digital communication, crisis management, and the use of emerging technologies to build public trust and credibility in government. Our correspondent has the rest of the reports.
The digital space is changing how government communicates with the public. And for communication professionals, the challenge is no longer just about getting information out. It is also about getting it right, responding quickly during crisis and maintaining public trust. That was the focus of Delcom 2026, the seventh edition of the Delta State Strategic Communication Workshop held in Asaba. The three-day event brought together government communication personnel, media practitioners, and other stakeholders to examine the changing communication landscape.
I'm the organizer of the event. I'm the state coordinator of Delcom. Overview generally is to make sure that the state government continue to build the workforce of the media and communication team, and also our media partners. You can see the governor wants us to expand it so that the other agencies and relevant agencies in the state can also accommodate their public relations officers. We saw immigration here, FRSC, and also NDLEA. By next year, we hope to expand it to other organizations.
Ekugum said the training has equipped participants with contemporary skills needed to function effectively in an increasingly digital environment.
I've only just been here the last day, and I listened to the last speaker or facilitator. I mean, what he taught was awesome, very impactful, and it delivered some communication truths that participants would do well to embrace, imbibe, and put into practice. I hope that the people that are here have taken it as seriously as I expect them to, because he delivered a lot of communication principles that we today need to learn, because the communication, especially the digital communication space, has changed drastically, and it's transformed everything we know about communication, whether it's publishing, whether it's broadcasting. The media landscape has changed, and so we need to keep upgrading. We need to keep updating our skills and our knowledge to be relevant. And I think that's the purpose this workshop serves.
He urged participants to apply the knowledge gained in their various ministries, departments, and agencies. For government communicators, social media has also created new opportunities and new risks. Information can reach thousands of people within minutes, but so can misinformation. Participants were therefore urged to verify information before publication and use digital platforms strategically.
You know that digital communication is the intent. You heard the various speakers, you heard what the governor said, and all the trainers are already saying here that the digital space is where the information really lies now. We are gradually moving away from paper communication like newspapers and all that. You can find out that most people don't even read newspapers these days. If they want to read, they read online newspapers. So the vendors have less work to do. So that means we are migrating into the digital space. And that is why this training is very important. Yeah. We as government persons, it's hard to use this digital communication to now, build trust and credibility for good governance.
So I'm telling us here as media practitioners, in whatever platform, whether in the public service, the private sector, we have one audience, the people, who communicate to the people. So we must endeavor at all times to make sure, like that exercise we don't have a short while ago, to make sure that thing we put out as information is correct, because you may not know, it kills, I want to use the word kill, or enhances your credibility as a person, your credibility as a medium, once you are identified as a purveyor of falsehood. So there is need at all times to be very, very circumspect. You may not like the subject, you may not like the personality involved, but if it is right, say it is right, if you must comment on that particular issue.
Oganesiwe commended the consistency of Delcom over the past 7 years. He said the workshop was designed to equip media practitioners with the knowledge required to discharge their responsibilities professionally and responsibly.
For us to be equipped, professionally in discharging our responsibilities. So Delcom 7th edition has been a very good one, centered on digital communication, crisis management, in order to create credibility for democratic government. I think all the modules reflected what we came here to do. And the group work also reflects that, in doing our job, there are things we should do and things we shouldn't do. And the connected bridges in some technical areas, how do we maneuver? And how do we sustain that credibility for government?
Participants were reminded that the response of an institution can either contain a crisis or make it worse. They were encouraged to establish clear communication procedures, identify authorized spokespersons, and ensure that verified information is released promptly.
Quote, again, attribution. Are we all together? All right. Press statement, common mistakes to avoid. Number one, too much background before the news. Great problems. Too much background, jargon, and unexplained technical language. Avoid it. And unsupported superlatives such as history or praise. I want to show you. Don't do all that. Long paragraphs and all of that. Inconsistent figures.
As government communicators, it is no longer enough to use press conferences. Before we could use press briefing, we could use press conferences, we could use radio, we could use television, we could use newspaper to reach the people. But now it is no longer so. The people you are going to reach, they have access to social media. They have access to websites. They have access to every information you could think of. They have messaging applications. AI enabling technology is there and other digital channels. So much more than that, it creates a problem for government because they face constant public scrutiny. People want to know what is the government doing at certain times of crisis.
The trainers, Professor Joyce Ogwezi, Professor Presley Obukoadata, Dr. Rita Abamba, took participants through various modules, including digital communication, crisis management, and strategic communication. The workshop also emphasized the need for coordination among government agencies, particularly during emergencies and sensitive public issues.
The end of everything is always the beginning of another thing. So the training itself is dusted, but the practice starts today. And it's what you do with the information, the knowledge you've gotten in your respective places that determines whether the workshop was successful or not. And our prayer, and given the enthusiasm that we saw in 3 days, we're very confident that we're beginning to raise a good crop of professionals who will do Delta State proud. So I'm very excited.
For the past 3 days, we have deliberated on issues that surround credible communication, that surround building trust, that surround digital communication, leadership, crisis communication, and a whole lot of things. And all of these things are issues that are in the public space for now. They are issues in communication that we have to deal with as we begin to prepare for 2027. And as such, we believe that this will help prime journalists, media practitioners, media managers, stakeholders, right, and prepare them for 2027 to ensure that the communication ecosystem is free from misinformation, from malinformation, from fake news, and from misrepresentation of facts.
So thank you, as in the organizers of this program especially, they wonderful. And I think the problem is the workshop is quite timely in this era of digital space where anything can happen. So we've gained a lot of that. Even as a trainer, I learned so much that I'm going out there to make a difference. And I'm sure with as many of the participants as well, I'm sure nobody's going to live the same way they came in.
The Director General said more than 1,000 media practitioners drawn from conventional media, social media and government media have benefited from Delcom since its inception.
Well, we registered 150. On the first day, we had about 162. And then some were not consistent because we can't give certificate to those who are not consistent. So by the time we filter away the irregular guys that were just going in and coming without paying attention to what we are doing, we got a total of 132. So 132 got their certificates today, and that is quite a reasonable number. Those 132 are the ones who participated fully from day 1 to day 3, and they all attended all the modules. For the workshop so far, from inception, this is the 7th edition. Apart from this edition that we have 132 at the closing section now. We have always had our full 150 or 160. So if you multiply that by 7, it will give you the figure.
With the 7th edition now concluded, the message from the organizers is clear. The success of Delcom will not be measured only by the number of people trained, but by how effectively participants apply the knowledge to their daily work. The next edition, the organizers say, is expected to be bigger and better. From Ebenezer Summit Road, Asaba, I am Mary Jane Agemomen, reporting for Quest News.